few short weeks away, and Rumpure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Swing for the Fences show, joined by my two boys. We got Hoop as usual. DC back on the free show today, talking some baseball. Excited to dive in. We got a nice little 6-game slate. Pitching, I think it's pretty clear cut. I'm excited to hear what you two got to say. Maybe some contrarian takes over there. Hitting is a little interesting. I think pitching is definitely more straightforward, but excited to dive in, talk some baseball. We got 3-game early slate going on. Hopefully that's going good for everyone out there. Hit the like button as always. Hit that big red subscribe button. We appreciate it. DC, tossing you first. Haven't talked baseball with you in a while. Excited for this show. What's the thoughts on the slate? Were you in the early streets? What's going on, man?
I didn't play the early streets. Decided to log on to Twitter instead, which took up some of my afternoon time, but a good time there. Good to be back in the baseball streets with you guys. It feels like April when we still had the NBA going on. We were doing the free shows. I've been on mostly the premium, obviously, for most of the summer. And, we've almost come full circle. What do we have? The NFL is it 2 weeks away now?
Something like that. Try not to count down the days.
Yeah. It's hard not to at this point. All obviously excited about the NFL. But yeah, more baseball to be played. 6-game slate tonight. Title, I'm with you on the pitching being straightforward. I'm guessing we're going to be on the same two guys. One of those slates where you might just have to eat the chalk. We'll talk all through it, of course. But yeah, happy to be talking ball with you guys, and we'll get to it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's hard not to be on these pitchers. You can always get different with bats. That's how I see it. We'll get into that though. Hoop, what's going on? How's golf going today? I checked a little bit earlier. Looked like a lot of people RPS were on was doing pretty good. So what's going on?
Yeah, so far so good. Took a pretty big stance on Scotty Scheffler at the top, and we had a 5-shot lead. He's still sitting 3 up, and came in kind of low owned like I suspected. I mean, ownership was pretty spread out, but the guy that started the tournament 10 under with a 2-stroke lead came in at like 18%, which is really low on this slate with only 29 golfers. So I was happy about that. I'm hoping he runs away with it. 3 up right now. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, pretty solid start overall to the PGA Tour Championship.
Why did the guy that I didn't play golf this week, but why did the guy that started the tournament in the lead, who's one of the best golfers in the world, have like the same ownership as a random person in any other tournament who didn't start with the lead?
Well, they changed the salaries around a little bit on this one, so the top salary is a little higher, but people just like the balance build, man. People just love to go balanced. And, he was, typically the most expensive guys are 11,500. He was 13,600, I think, but they did lower the cheapest salaries though, too. They're usually 6K. Gotcha. Cheapest guys are all 5K, and they all shot like 400 or 500 today. They had the best rounds of the event so far. So we took the stars and scrubs approach, and paying off so far. We'll see how it finishes.
Yep. I had to tune into the premium show. Guys always got it covered on the golf streets. DC, I really miss your Twitter. I haven't been on like at all, like I said, but man, multiple people in chat today saying great work today, all that stuff. So I'm going to save it for later before I get into bed so I can get a nice laugh, but the people did like it.
There's a few good ones and a few bad ones, so you'll enjoy yourself.
I like it. Who else we got in chat today? We got Big Mike as always, Richie Smalls, Big Money, Maul, K-Ped, Michael Vasquez, Jordan, Paraby, Chef, Buckneer, a lot of familiar faces. Luge, Gator Nation, Junior, Big Boy, Mitch Snyder. What's going on, Snyder? Stevie Boyton. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Hit that like button as always for us. Hit that big red subscribe button. Let's get right into baseball, though. Man, I'm just going to say, let's start with the top 2 pitchers on the slate, and then the rest we'll talk about after, because it's Sir Jacob deGrom. It's Aaron Nola for me. That's not a contrarian take one bit. The ownership will follow. I don't know how you get away from it today, DC. So talk to me. Talk about those two, and if you have pivots.
I think you could maybe get away from Aaron Nola here if you wanted to. But, I mean, Jacob deGrom is just on a whole nother level. We've seen it for the last 4 or 5 seasons. As someone that's like into, the advanced metrics and all that stuff, he's like somehow even more impressive in that kind of stuff than he is in the results he puts up. And the results he puts up are just like unquestionably the best pitcher in baseball. They let him up to, like, even in the last game against the Braves, he gave up 3 earned runs. They got, I think they got to him. I think it was all in 1 inning, maybe 1 or 2 innings. Still puts up 24 fantasy points, strikes out 9, no walks. Now he gets this Colorado team at home. I mean, here's the thing: is when you get a pitcher like deGrom, or even going back to the golf discussion, where you get the top golfer who's starting with the lead. It's like deGrom's like, would you play him if he was starting with like 8 extra fantasy points tonight than anybody else? Because that's kind of the expectation that you should have. Of course you would, right? And I mean, he's going to dominate like he always does. His floor seems like 20 seems too low even for his floor. 25, I would expect. I think he's got a good chance, 35, 40 plus. And I don't think he'll actually be that much higher owned than the typical ace on a slate is, right? Maybe that's like Corbin Burns in a good matchup, but they're not comparable pitchers, honestly. They're in the same tier as in like the top 5 arms, but deGrom is just in a tier completely in his own. And yeah, I'm playing deGrom. FanDuel did a good job pricing him up, 12.5K on FanDuel. So you do actually have to sacrifice some bats to get him in, but even on FanDuel, he's a priority to me, even over Nola. I want deGrom. I think he's a tier above Nola, but I mean, that is also clearly the second best pitcher. Been dominating all year, been better at home. Actually, that's not true this year, but typically he has been. And then he gets a Cincinnati team, which just can't hit it all. So yeah, the deGrom Nola pairing, I think you'll see deGrom come in, 65%, 70%.
Depending on the tournament. Yeah, I think that big one, I think you should see something like that.
It's going to be over 50 everywhere, I think. And the higher stakes you go, the more people you're going to see on deGrom. That's probably true for Nola as well, but we've talked about it on the premium show a lot for people that listen to that. And there are so many 2K hitters out there right now. DraftKings not doing that great of a job of adjusting, some of these prospects that are coming up or guys that have been in the lineup for a while. So there's plenty of options to save money with hitters. I'm going to take what I expect to be like 70 combined points from deGrom and Nola, and then try to get different elsewhere if I can. But yeah, I'm with you, Title. Those two guys seem pretty damn locked and loaded tonight, as much as any 2 pitchers have been on any slate, I think, this whole season. So it's the chalk, but sometimes you gotta go down that path. Tonight's one of those nights, I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, how often do you see, look at the K props, deGrom 9.5 juice on the over. I mean, we talk about it. I mean, this dude is just different when it comes to pitching. We have never seen someone like this. And he gets the nut matchup too against these Rockies. And then you look at Nola, 7.5 K prop. After that, the highest K prop is 5.5, Gossman, some juice on the over, then the 5.5 and juice on the under. Like, there's such a big difference. The Reds stink, the Rockies stink, like two easily the best pitchers on the slate. I think it's pretty clear cut, like you said. On FanDuel, like you did mention though, deGrom 12.5, Nola 10.8. So that 1,700 can go a long way. but we always do talk about it. Kyle Schwarber's 3.2K there. He's 6K on DraftKings. So it all goes hand in hand at the end of the day. Hoop, DeGrom, Nola, anyone else are you playing, or are you just hitting the live button and saying move on?
Well, on FanDuel, they continue to just do a better job with the pricing over there. They have DeGrom up at 12.5, Nola 10.8. One pitcher site though, I can't click another name over there. I think you just play one of those two, move on, make it work with the bats. My player pool at pitcher on FanDuel is very simple. On DraftKings, it's probably going to be pairing those two because of how bad DraftKings continues to do with this pitcher pricing. I mean, it's just really bad. Like DeGrom at 10.8 it's egregious. He should be 12K range, 13K range. And they were doing this in the past years, but now they've just apparently put a cap on these guys. And, DeGrom sitting at 10.8, just way too cheap. Nola at 10K against Cincinnati is too cheap. It's easy to play those guys and get exposure to elite bats. Where it is a little bit different on DraftKings, I will say I think DeGrom is just a lock button play. I think you just play him if he's 60%. You're way above the field, obviously, if you just go all in. So I think DeGrom's a lock. Nola could potentially be talked off of. Now, if you don't play Nola, where do you go? I think the next best option, I guess, would just be going to a guy like Tyon at 7.5K in Oakland. Gets that nice pitcher-friendly ballpark, but a large majority of my lineups will feature DeGrom and Nola because of how bad the pricing is. They've done a terrible job all season pricing these pitchers.
Yeah, I agree. So DC, in all your lineups, is it just those two, or is anyone else you even want to talk about?
Man, that's the plan right now. I agree with Hoop. Jameson Tyon looks like the best value play, but he's just so far behind DeGrom and Nola in terms of floor, in terms of upside. And people spread out their exposure. They just do, like a decent majority, or not majority, but a decent percentage of the lineups in the big tournaments are people that are playing many, many lineups, and they're going to have other pitchers, and people are going to make lineups, they're going to want other stacks, whatever it may be. And so you'll see these guys, I don't know. I consider the 65, 70% DeGrom ownership. It's like a 30% discount or 35% discount from what it should be. Of course, it's baseball. Anything can happen. It's not a guarantee, but you're still going to see less than half the field have the DeGrom Nola combination. So yeah, I mean, and listen, is it hard to get to the top of a tournament with those two guys, right? Like, if maybe 40% of the 15K field, if you're playing the big 15 on DraftKings, has those two guys. Yes, you still got a long way to go, but if those two guys pitch like they should, it's pretty likely, I think, a DeGrom Nola combination takes down every tournament. And even if it doesn't, it's not all about chasing first. Like you just got a way better chance to cash any lineup, I think, with those two guys. So for me, yeah, people that are watching the show that have watched free shows, or, subscribers that are on premium, I love to play cheap, low-owned pitchers. Like, if I get a chance to do it, of course I do it. Probably too much, maybe to my own detriment sometimes. But today is just not one of those days. I'm paying for these top dogs.
Yep, 3 for 3 there. I don't think we need to waste time on pitching anymore. If you have conviction on someone else, you'll get them very low owned. You can pair them with one of the top guys and get chalkier at bats if you want to do that. But us three, DeGrom, Nola, it's an easy route. But hey, people always get different. That's how we're all approaching it today. Before we get game by game, as always, do us a favor, please hit that like button for us. Hit that big red subscribe button. We always do appreciate it. And we do have a promo code going on right now, as you guys do know. NFL 15 gets you 15% off every single month for the life of your subscription. We got all the sports, one price, MMA, golf, NASCAR, NFL right around the corner. We got best ball rankings up, Snyder's, Simon's, JSU. I think even Big T got some best ball rankings up. Preseason football going on, 1 week left with that. Rubio's absolutely been crushing that, as long as Kurt and the team. So head over on Fear Sports. NFL 15 is the promo code. Gets you 15% off. Make sure to get in the Discord. Members Ever Win segment. Let's shout out a couple winners. Trackman 74, $4,000 in NASCAR. Mill 1155, $5,000 in NFL. Showtime 8319, $10,000 in NFL. And then DFW beat down 15,000 in MLB. Congrats to you four. If you want to get on this segment, we have a members never win segment in Discord. Drop your screenshots in there and you can have a chance to get on this segment. We got Bill Miner hopping in a little late. What's going on? We got Yeezy saying what's up to all of us. What's up, Yeezy? King of Smack. Asaw. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Before we go game by game, we're about to. DC, I got to bring this up because we're on the MMA show every single week. We don't have MMA show this week, but how can we not talk about that Leon Edwards head kick? It's been too long, and I haven't talked any MMA with you, man. Just what a sport. That's all I got to say. What a sport.
Yeah. We only have the MMA show to discuss these days. So, I mean, what was the live line? Do you guys know when the head kick happened?
I don't, but I mean, it had to be minus 5,000. Like, folks might have even pulled
30, 40, 50 to 1 at least, something like that. I mean, the fight was over. But that's what makes MMA just different than any other sport where you can't come back from 50 down with 30 seconds left in the NBA. You're down 35-0 in football, the game is over, right?
Yeah.
14-0 in baseball, you can't do it. It's just one. You can't hit like a 1,200-foot home run that goes over the next city and you get all 14 runs back. That was kind of the level of comeback that it was. Almost overshadowed every other fight.
100% did. It wasn't even the best card, I didn't think, before. Like, there was some disappointing.
But even like thinking back on it, it's hard to like think of anything except for that fight, is what I found. The Rockhold
and Costa. That was like the Onama Landwehr, like the same fight the next week.
But to another degree.
Yeah.
I mean, Rockhold, he seemed like he was gonna like die in the cage from pure exhaustion, not from getting punched in the face, just like literally just like keel over from a heart attack. But then he would throw like
he says F you and just clocks him.
like a 4-part move, roundhouse body kick that would somehow land. It's like what? Like he had like somehow knockout chances, like I thought better than Leon did, like late into his fight, despite how tired he was.
Yeah.
So a couple, really, really crazy fights. Jose Aldo, man, what a disappointing performance from him. I don't know.
You see he said he told Mlb he's gone. He's retiring.
I saw Mlb say that. I haven't seen it from.
Yeah, I haven't seen all those.
Yeah.
The elevation, I know you were tweeting about it though. It definitely got to some of those fighters.
Oh, I did all of them. I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, Leon and Usman. I mean,
Usman was slowing down. You never see him slow down.
That might have weighed into Usman's leaving his guard down, right? Maybe he dropped his hands for a second. So crazy card. Yeah, we do have this week off. We'll of course be back next week. And the MMA world is fun because there's no breaks. It never takes a break now. It's like literally a year-long sport. The most you ever get is one single week off. It's all changing. So yeah, it's certainly been fun to follow. And I mean, I think if they fight again, Usman will handle him pretty easily.
They're gonna fight again. Yeah, I mean,
what would you put the line out if you're?
It's already open, but I would open it the same as this one opened. I think the books it's like minus 350. Usman open pretty much the same. Yeah. I mean, Leon had his moments. He's got the cardio. Like round 1, he took him down, and he like on top. He wins that round. Like, I mean, he was there. Just Usman just kept breaking him with the wrestling.
I assume if they fight again, they'll do it at sea level somewhere, which.
It's going to be it's going back to the UK. But they wanted at Wembley, but there's also saw like
but somewhere non-altitude, and it'll be a different fight at that point.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I had to talk some MMA with DC. We got Connor Charter. He said he was minus 5,000 going. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah. Man, just what a card. I know the bumps was like, I know Hoops and Hoop. How you liking the MMA stroke? I mean, Hoop loves MMA.
I mean, I was busy last week, and so I didn't get into it too deep, but I did see that one, and that's the beauty of the sport, man. I mean, there's not like you guys said, if you're down 50 in the NBA in the fourth quarter, your night's over. If you're down, 12 runs going into the 9th inning in Major League Baseball, 2 outs in the 9th, your night's over. In football, you're down 5 touchdowns with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Your night's over. In MMA, you got your ass kicked for 4 rounds and there's 20 seconds left. You have a chance. Not likely, definitely not likely, but you have a chance. And there's no other sport like that. And that's what makes it so damn exciting. And I mean, it's a phenomenal sport to follow.
Yeah, and having DF money on a DFS vibe. That's enough MMA though. But like I said, without having MMA this week, couldn't talk to DC about it. Never see DC in the week today. We had to talk about that head kick. We'll be talking about that for a long time. But hey, let's talk some baseball. First game of the slate: Chicago White Sox, Baltimore Orioles. Lance Lynn, Jordan Lyles on the mound. To 85 in Camden, pretty warm in Baltimore. DC, 2 totals sitting about 4 on this slate. I don't think either of these teams though will have a ton of ownership. We're getting chalky at pitcher. Can you make a case for any of these 2 teams?
Yeah, I think, given that all 3 of us are going for the expensive chalky combination of DeGrom and Aaron Nola, we have to almost focus on like some of the value bats out there, right? Like which ones do we like the best? Because you have to play some of those guys if you're paying up 10K plus for both pitchers. So I don't think I'm full stacking either of these teams, but I do think both these teams have good value bats that you can look at. Gavin Sheets hitting second for the White Sox, 2.3K looks good. Juan Moncada can swing it from the left side. He's 3.1K. And then I think if you need a punt at catcher, Sebi Zavala for the White Sox has some power down at 2.2K. Orioles side, I'm not going to be able to play contrarian stacks like a lefty stack against Lance Lynn, right? Like a Mullins, Rushman, Santander on different slates. That would be interesting to me in this park against Lance Lynn, who hasn't been that great, but just not really an option if you're paying for the pitchers that we're paying for. So those guys won't really be on my teams. Kyle Stowers though.
I was about to ask you about him.
Yeah, he can hit. Good prospect for the Orioles. He looks like a good option. Still a good place to hit for left-handed bats in Camden, or I guess it's Orioles Park now, with that short porch in right field. So he looks solid. Taryn Vavra, I think you could play at 2.3K, but I'm just picking off the value on these teams. The expensive bats are too expensive for me to go to, given the pitchers that we're paying for and some other spots I like. But I do think that the value from both teams in this game looks pretty good to me.
Is it actually Orioles Stadium now? It's not Camden? I've been saying it wrong the whole year.
I think so. It's possible I just made that up.
All right. Any White Sox?
We're sticking with Camden.
I'm going to keep saying Camden, but I was like,
I don't know. I don't know what possessed me to correct myself, possibly even wrongly so. But
that's what I was wondering.
I got to look it up now. But.
Baltimore White Sox. Yeah, I'll get to you after so you can tell me the right one. Any bats for you in this one, Hoop?
Really the same sentiment here as DC. Like the Orioles are tough for me to get to just because like the price tags. Like if you stack the Orioles, you want Cedric Mullins, you want this catcher, Rushman, you want Santander. Well, you're talking 5.1K, 5K, and 4.7K for those guys. And we talked about a pitcher. We want to pay up at pitcher. It's hard to get the Orioles bats that you want and pay up for pitcher. So Orioles, I'll be out on. White Sox, I do like quite a bit, and it's for the same reasons really that DC mentioned, the price tags. You get Gavin Sheets at 2.3K batting second. I love him. Lyles back-to-back pretty bad start, so I definitely think that the White Sox can get to him a little bit. Sheets at 2.3 fits the build that we're kind of looking for today, paying up at pitcher, cheap bats, even Vaughn leading off 3.8K. That's a solid price tag for him. Jan Moncada down there in the 6-hole, 3.1K. So I'm going to be picking off some of these cheaper White Sox bats. Again, I don't know if I'll necessarily be full stacking. I don't know, maybe Vaughn, Sheets, Moncada, you get the cheap catcher at 2.2K. Yeah, I'm not, now that I talk about it, I'm not opposed to full stacking the White Sox.
You can get to 5 here, just probably not 5 in a row.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, a wraparound. It's a little spread out, whatever. But I'm good with this, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm cool stacking the White Sox because of the price tags here and the fact that Lyles hasn't been great. But Sheets would definitely be my main guy here from this lineup at 2.3K. Love him as a salary saving option here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you look at the White Sox, 6 through 7, you fill third base, shortstop, second base, and catcher if you want to mix in some of those positions that are usually tougher to fill. So yeah, I don't mind any White Sox either. Guaranteed ninth inning at bat. It's warm in Baltimore. DC, the chat's telling me Orioles Park at Camden Yards.
That's what my Google search turned up as well, which
sounds stupid.
Yeah, so we're both right, I guess.
The reason I called it Oriole Park, or corrected myself to call it Oriole Park, is ballparkpal.com, which is a really good site for showing the impact of the weather. like, so their top four, runs ballparks tonight, runs scored ballparks. Like they list them: Citizens Bank Park, Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, and then Oriole Park.
Gotcha.
So I've been looking at that. And,
yeah, I mean,
they
you
seem
weren't
like
wrong. I
they
guess
would be on top of it on the proper name, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong. I guess somehow it's both. I'm gonna keep saying Camden.
Yeah,
but
we're going back to Camden.
hey.
That's the
Yeah.
conclusion. My bad.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
No, you good. Let's get to the next game on the slate. We got the Cincinnati Reds, the Philadelphia Phillies, Justin Dunn and Aaron Nola on the mound. I mean, man, these Phillies, Justin Dunn's the dude that can't keep a runner on to save his life. Hey, Noah Syndergaard Jr. These Phillies, I mean, you get Kyle Schwarber is very expensive at the top, but go to the bottom order, a lot of cheap bats. Outside of Hoskins and Castellanos, Segura's 4K. Everyone else is below 4K though. So Phillies one of the highest implied totals on this slate. Hoop against Dunn. Talk about your interest there, how you would stack it up, and then I assume no Reds for you, but talk about it.
Yeah, definitely no Reds, but I'm certainly in on the Phillies almost, top to bottom here because of the salary savings at the bottom. I mean, on DK, everyone outside of Schwarber is very reasonably priced, I'd say, for this matchup. I mean, you're looking everyone's 4.6K and below outside of Schwarber. Schwarber 6K on FanDuel, he's 3.2K. The 3.2K on FanDuel is, an extreme value. I mean, he's just a really good play over there. Will be popular, but man, the upside's huge in this matchup against Dunn. So everyone's in play here. The fact that you have so many cheap guys at the bottom for Philly makes it easy to stack them up, even if you're paying up at pitcher, even if you're going two spend ups, if you're going Nola and you're going DeGrom, you can still get exposure to Schwarber because of how cheap these guys are at the bottom. The one guy that I would be a little concerned about, and DC can potentially back this up, is Zimmer. I'd imagine if a lefty comes in, he's probably out of the game. I don't know for sure. That's I'd rather just play Veerling right above him at 2K, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. Sosa at the bottom, I'm fine with as a punt, third base, shortstop eligible. Garrett Stubbs, 3.8K, catcher, Segura, 4K, Castellanos, 4.1K, Stott, 3.9K. Reasonably priced, everyone here. Schwarber 6K, but rightfully so. This is a really good matchup for Schwarber. So I'm playing everyone here, 1 through 9. Zimmer, probably my least favorite, but premier stack here, big total for them, great matchup. And like you said, the weather here is really nice as well. So everything just points to the Phillies.
Yep, I like it. DC, talk about the Phillies and anyone that either a walk or a single turns into a double with the stolen base against that get done with the Phillies. Talk about this game.
Yeah, I wish the Phillies had more speed. They don't really have much of it. Dunn, though, is kind of a Noah Syndergaard type pitcher where he can't hold anyone on base, but man, he's also like of course you can play anyone from the Phillies, right? They've got a team total of 6. Of course you can go to the right-handed bats here, but like Dunn does have a significant real split where he is way worse against left-handed bats than he is against righties in general. This is one of those slates, and every start that Justin Dunn makes will be one of those slates for me where I'm going to load up on left-handed bats against him, right? I'm absolutely willing to fill in stacks with some of the righties, but it's the lefties that are the priority, obviously starting with Schwarber, but Bryson Stott not far behind him in my eyes. Garrett Stubbs, I think, is the best catcher play on this slate. So those 3 guys are where I'm starting. I get the pinch hit risk with Bradley Zimmer. I definitely do, but he's also 2K and like the literal best possible matchup for him. And he's got some speed.
Yeah.
Reds only have a couple lefties out of the pen. They might not even pitch in this game. They both pitched yesterday. So I'm willing to play Bradley Zimmer as well. And then, yeah, everybody else is of course, Hoskins and Castellanos and Veerling. Of course, all these guys are in play as well. But I do, if it comes down to it, I will prioritize the left-handed bats against Justin Dunn. It really doesn't get any better matchup than this for these lefties. Like truly, I think about the best matchup they could possibly have. I'm on Nola. I'm with you guys, but there are a couple of interesting bats against him. This is the best home run park on the slate, best home run park in general. And Nola, you can also run on him. So the Reds do have specifically Jake Fraley looks like a really good play to me. Nola
He's
will
been
come
smashing.
Nola, he's been smashing. Nola's not going to want to walk him to lead off the game. He's going to get pitches to hit. Nola does give up home runs, especially to lefties. Home run park. Fraley can run. He's got a little bit of power. He's 2.7K. Like, I think I'm going to play Nola on all my teams, but on any team I didn't have Aaron Nola, and obviously there's going to be people watching that, go a different direction at starting pitcher. I would play Jake Fraley for sure on those teams. Another guy I like kind of in the same vein, but definitely a tier below Fraley would be Terry Friedel, hitting 5th for 2,200. So I did want to mention those two guys for people that are going a different direction than Nola at pitcher.
Yep. Good breakdown there. Let's see. We got 380 watching, 150 likes. It's Thursday. I want to get you the plays of the day. 225. Very, very easy number to make. 225 likes. Should be no problem. Like button and then that big red subscribe button at the bottom right too. We always do appreciate it. Want to get you the plays of the day today. Next game on the slate. Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox. Kevin Gausman, Cutter Crawford on the mound. 80 degrees in Fenway. Man, this Toronto team, you love the lineup top to bottom. Guaranteed 9th inning at bat. DC, talk about this game for bets.
Yeah, I'm probably a bigger fan of Cutter Crawford than maybe I should be, which will keep me off of Toronto to some extent. Also, there's not really many cheap bats here, right? You do have some guys at the bottom of the lineup in Tapia and Espinal that you can play for cheap, but not the most inspiring bats. Tapia probably gets pinch hit for at some point in this game as well. And yeah, Crawford has been pretty solid for the most part against right-handed hitters, which is obviously most of the Blue Jays lineup. So I'm not really on the Blue Jays here. I just, when I'm comparing Kyle Schwarber to Springer or Vlad or Teoscar, it's not even close for me. Kind of the same thing with Bichette versus Stott. If we're just comparing Blue Jays to Phillies, we'll obviously get to, the other bats that I like in general. So I'm mostly off the Blue Jays myself, mostly just because of a belief in Cutter Crawford's ability to keep damage in check. But I mean, yeah, I would never really try to talk anyone off of stacking the Blue Jays, right? Against he's still a mediocre pitcher. I don't think he's like some world beater. I just think he's better than people realize, which has me going a little bit different direction than the Blue Jays myself. And yeah, not really on the Red Sox hitters as well. I think you could play Devers. Yeah, no, I don't really see going to the Red Sox. Gausman on a normal slate, I would have interest, but it's just hard to compare him to Nola or DeGrom. So yeah, mostly a fade of this one. Red Sox, Blue Jays. Interesting game, right? I think a lot of people will go to this one, but I just for those reasons, I'm just kind of lower on it, I think, than the field will be.
Yeah, and you can't play everyone. I mean, you can't play every 5 implied total or higher. Like you said, if you're trying, you can't stack 1 through 7 or 1 through 6, with Nolan DeGrom. Like the prices just don't really let you. So
right.
Who you like these Blue Jays though, or usually like the Blue Jays team? Do you like them today in the any Boston?
Yeah, I'll be on the Blue Jays here for sure tonight. Now the one issue is the price tags. It's hard. If you're playing Nola and DeGrom together to get the guys you want. You look at that Phillies lineup and we were able to identify a lot of guys at the bottom that we have interest in. Just not the case here with the Blue Jays lineup. I'd be fine playing like Espinal down there at 2.7K, Jansen at 3.5, but it's not like the situation with the Phillies where you have 3 guys at the bottom in play at like 2K flat.
You just ignored your boy. You glossed right over your boy, the other one that's
Tapia. I mean, I'm willing to play Tapia. I know he's not great. He's never really a good play. But yeah, I'm willing to play him. But the guys you really want at the top are expensive if you're paying up for pitchers. So I will be getting exposure to the Blue Jays here as much as I possibly can. And then, no Red Sox here for me at all.
Makes some sense. Next game on the slate, Colorado Rockies, New York Mets, Ryan Feltner and Jacob deGrom on the mound. DC, I'll go back to you. You're the Rockies guy. Can we pick on this Feltner cat?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to try to make me pick off some bats against DeGrom.
No.
I refuse to even name any of the guys' names. I'm not playing anyone.
Yeah, I didn't even look at the lineup. Whoever they rolled out. It's one of those.
I think that's a good way to go. But yeah, the Mets, I think they're a team to target tonight for sure. I like them better than the Blue Jays. Feltner, not any good. I do think it takes a while to get there in MLB, but we see it in basketball, where you get to the end of the season and the teams that are completely out of it, you start to not be able to trust their minutes, right? And baseball's not the exact same, but the Mets and Braves, right? They're locked in a pennant race. And I think you get better outputs in general from these lineups that are awesome lineups, and they're fighting for something as a team every single night, right? Where everybody's
they show up with a different energy than so the Rockies would show up to the ballpark with.
It's not that any one batter is like gets some giant boost, but it's just like when the whole lineup is locked in and doing their best, like, I mean, this team starts it off that way with Brandon Nimmo, who like tries to draw a walk to start every single game. And this Mets team, you see it too. And these teams that like are able to run out pretty much the same lineup every single day. I just have faith in these teams to get the job done more often than not. So that's the same with the Mets. I think it's a great 5-man stack. If I had to choose individual bats, I think Lindor would be number one for me. I do like a cheap Tyler Naquin, Brett Beatty, another guy that, top prospect, good left-handed hitter, could provide salary relief, which we all three need if we're playing Nola and DeGrom. So, yeah, I'm in on the Mets tonight, more so than the Blue Jays for sure.
Who? Any Mets for you?
Yeah, I definitely like the Mets. One thing I will say, though, you have to get kind of creative, I think, if you're, playing those two top pitchers, Beatty at the bottom, like DC said, Thomas Nitto, I do like quite a bit. 2K flat, fills that catcher position. Vogelbach stands out as a value at 3.8K. So, yeah, a lot of interest here in the Mets against Feltner and, a bad Rockies bullpen. And then obviously we're not going to be picking on DeGrom here at all. But yeah, the Mets I'm in on. And, it's a lineup. I think you look at it, you can play just about anyone, top to bottom, 1 through 9, I think all in play. And I like stacking teams like that because it makes it easier to get a little bit different.
Yep, I like it. We got 2 games left on the slate. Man, I set the like number so low today. I know Hoop's not going to be overturning. If we don't get 225 today, I don't think Hoop's going to be the nice guy. I mean, it shouldn't be very hard. We appreciate like button, subscribe button. I won't ask again because I don't like to ask, just like you don't like to hear, but 2 seconds. We need 225 today. Should be no problem. 2 games left. Next game, Minnesota Twins, Houston Astros, Chris Archer, Luis Garcia on the mound. Hoop, any interest in this game?
Well, I like those other 3 offenses a lot more. I like the Phillies. I like the Blue Jays. I like the Mets. We always talk about you can't play everyone. Do I think Archer is great? No, but I think he's better than those other starting pitchers that are going against the Mets, the Blue Jays, and the Phillies. So probably going to have to be off the Astros here. We talked about it on the last couple nights. How I like that stack with like Alvarez, Bregman, Mancini, Pena. It's still there if you want it. Like the 3 through 7 still there, but no Tucker in this lineup. Like Kyle Tucker not in that lineup. I don't know. For me, that's going to be the difference maker. And again, like you can't play everyone, so I'm going to be off. I'm going to be off the Astros here tonight. And then also not going to be playing the Twins against Garcia.
I'm interested what you got to say, DC. The Twins guy. I mean, Archer is someone that I've tried to pick on earlier in the year. It just feels like Johnny Cueto. Like he doesn't get blown up nearly as much as I think he should. And I don't know. Like we like some of the other higher price offenses. Are you going to these Astros today? And then any Twins you like?
The problem with picking on Chris Archer is he has like a very specific plan with the Twins to get through like 4 or 5 innings, right? And like give maximum effort through as long as he can do it. And then they go to the bullpen, and you never get like a wearing down Chris Archer where they can punish him in the 5th or 6th inning because they take him out before that because they know he's going to wear down. And then the Twins bullpen, it's not really a great bullpen by any means, but it is very rusted today. I think they're going to hope to get 4 or 5 innings out of Archer. And then they've got, 4 or 5 relievers who are pretty good that are going to come in, obviously play the matchups and all that. So yeah, I'm with Hoop, not on the Astros here. Obviously they could do damage against anybody, including Chris Archer in this bullpen, but I just think there are better spots on this slate. So I'm not going to the Astros, not really going to the Twins much either. Again, we do need saving. So the one guy that I do like on the Twins is Nick Gordon, who's been, I think, kind of out of nowhere, kind of a second half star. I think there's even still more talent that he hasn't shown yet. He's 2K for the outfield, hitting 5th, got the platoon advantage, all that stuff. And he actually goes the opposite way, which is great in Houston because they got that short porch in left field. He's a left-handed hitter. So he would be the guy that I do like for the Twins, and I had no problem playing him as a one-off, but not on either of these pitchers, not on the Astros stack. And yeah, this game mostly a fade, but I do really like Nick Gordon. He'll be on some of my lineups.
Nick Gordon's like Italian nightmare, Vinny P or Pujols, where it doesn't matter what they do all year, they just never get their price raised.
He's been literally at 2K, I think, the whole year. I can't.
I just tracked it for over ever since he's been.
I've been playing him a lot. I can't remember paying more than 2K for him.
It's crazy, but yeah, certain guys like that. Last game on the slate: New York Yankees, Oakland Athletics. Jameson Taillon, James Caprillion on the mound. I mean, we don't like playing hitters. I don't like playing hitters in Oakland. It's under 70 degrees. It is the Yankees, though. So I'll go back to you, DC. Can you make a case for them? Are you playing any of them?
They're probably fourth for me, behind the Mets, the Phillies, who I like by far the best, and then I think I would actually put the Blue Jay. Actually, no, I'll put the Yankees above the Blue Jays on this particular slate. Of course, you don't like going to Oakland. Not a good place to hit, especially for the Yankees who've got the big downgrade. And I don't think the lineup's out yet. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I haven't seen it quite yet. It does look like they're going to get Giancarlo standing back tonight, which obviously he's one of the guys where you don't really have to worry about the big park, right? He can hit it out anywhere. Of course, Judge is the same. That Judge, Rizzo, Stanton stack, it's very expensive and probably hard for us to get with paying up for pitching, but I do think they can do some damage here. Caprillion gives up a ton of fly balls, a ton of home runs, bad bullpen behind him. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees did some damage. Cheaper guys for the Yankees you can look at Oswaldo Cabrera if he's in there. He's still 2K and he hasn't done much yet, but I do have some faith in him as a player. But yeah, just hard to get to the Yankees at their price points, given that the fact that we want to pay for pitching and, it's not the greatest spot anyway. So I won't have a ton of Yankees. And the A's, man, I never play the A's. Probably won't tonight either, to be honest.
Yeah, we don't have either of these lineups out yet, but man, it's 65 degrees and when there's 85 at other places. If this game beats me, it beats me. And the good thing is I'll probably be in bed before the game ends, since it starts over an hour and a half later than all the rest. So I'll know how I'm doing up until that game. Hoop, what's your plan for this one?
Yeah, Title's got big plans this weekend. He's gonna be wrapped in them sheets for quite a few hours.
I was kind of surprised to hear you're gonna be in bed at that's like 10:40 or something. And
I like my sleep. I don't always go to bed too late. 10 o'clock, 10:30.
There's a famous photo of you napping on Big T's couch, so we know
exactly.
After what, about 30 high noons?
Yeah, no, that was the day after all the chaos. After Big Bertha, that was the big night at the bar. That was
still recovering.
That was a big night. Hey, revenge next year, right? I mean that's right. That's the moral of that story.
I lost cheese back to DC and that. Yeah, I got to learn to stop betting.
Listen, we know where she works. She can't escape. We're gonna get our.
Revenge is coming for sure. This game, I mean, with the Yankees, I mean, Judge, you can play him obviously any single night. I don't mind maybe like a mini stack like Judge. If Oswaldo Cabrera is in there, 2K, kind of offsets that big price tag. For Judge, you can kind of fill the shortstop position, and then someone else, maybe it's Benintendi or someone like not all that expensive. So maybe a Yankees 3-man, Judge, Cabrera if he's in there, and then somebody else, whoever it may be. I don't think I can full stack this team, especially with Stanton coming back. It makes it even harder because of those price tags. Not a ton of interest here. Judge, like I said, you can play him any single slate, but 7.5 total. This ballpark obviously sucks for hitting. The argument for the Yankees would be, they have the power bats that can overcome this ballpark. So if you do like them, that's the case that can be made, but it's not really going to be for me here tonight.
Yep, 3 for 3 there. At least DK and FanDuel, got to give harp on them all the time. Got to give them some props when they do some right. Stanton, the least price, 5.2K on DK, 3.6 on FanDuel. Sometimes you see someone come back like that, minimum, and it's just a free square that people play. So that's good. That's all 6 games on the slate. We're going to get it in the stacks. Hopefully the plays today. 225 is the number again. Who? Go to you. Top 3 stacks.
Top 3. I mean, it's going to be a pretty, I guess, chalky type night for me. I mean, Phillies, Toronto. And then, you know what, Phillies, Toronto are my top two. And then I will say, I like the White Sox a little bit because of the price tags. I don't think Lyles is all that good. Sheets, Moncada, Vaughn, all pretty cheap. So yeah, I'll say White Sox number 3.
I like it. I'll throw out one. I like the Mets today. I think the Mets are my favorite stack today. These Rockies, I like picking on them. DC, top 3.
Yeah, I personally think Phillies are number 1 by a mile. They'll probably be highest owned, but I don't think they'll be as highly owned as they should be. So I'll start with that. I think the Phillies are going to do some serious damage today. I've got number 2, the Mets, and number 3, the Yankees. But yeah, my lineups will have pretty much maximum Phillies, all of them. I think they're the team to go with today.
Yep, definitely makes some sense there. That is every game on the slate. Gonna read a little promo, then check the likes. Man, if we don't get it,
you're giving them chances, Title.
I have to give them some chances. Yeah. It's like pulling teeth sometimes, DC. But hey, we got a promo code going on. NFL 15 gets you 15% off every single month for the life of your subscription. We did just have Hoop and Tambo did a NFL Trust the Process show today. Yeah. NFL right around the corner. Dude, talk about that. Just a little bit of sneak peek, what they can see on there.
Yeah, we kind of just went through and talked like NFL strategy, cash strategy, GPP strategy, roster construction, one-off strategy. I mean, we just hit on a bunch of different strategy points. And, it's just an exciting time, obviously, with NFL. And, if you're in this industry, this is the most exciting time of year, football right around the corner. So we're very excited over here at Run Pure, obviously, for NFL to start. And that was kind of just like a quick little breakdown with some strategy talk along the way. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out too. Anything to get your brain back in the NFL street. So check out that show. And then AP also did a show with Jordan at the Saberson. That is our partner that we do have that is included in NFL 15. And the Sims are up for week 1. Like I said yesterday, don't be making week 1 lineups and submitting them and that's it. But mess around with it with Saber Sim. Check out the Sims and how you get your process going. Check out that video. Good stuff there. As always, we have all the other sports as well. NFL 15 is that promo code. Gets you 15% off. That's enough stalling though. 236. Hey, 225. It's over that. We could do better. Appreciate if you hit it if you haven't. But let's get into the plays of the day. Who do I start with first? I'll go with the Rich Parents play of the day. Who do you got?
All right. Well, I want to be on the Phillies. I agree with DC. For me, like the Phillies are my number 1 team. I don't think it's all that close. I don't want to go with any of the popular plays up top. I'm gonna go with a full punt as the Rich Parents play of the day, just because of the positions this guy kind of fills. Edmundo Sosa, 2.2K. You can play him third base, shortstop. Hey, is he gonna go out and hit you 2 bombs? No, it's not going to happen. Can he go out and grind out double-digit fantasy points, which is all we need at his price point? Yeah, he can. Can you play him in your Philly stacks and then still play Nola and DeGrom? Yeah, you can. So give me Edmundo Sosa as the Rich Parents play of the day.
I like it. I will go to myself with the SO play of the day. Give me big Daniel Vogelbach. He's swinging a hot stick. He's definitely got the pop to double dong if he can get a hold of one. So big Vogie, the SO play of the day. Mom's Basement play of the day, DC. Give the free people. You're never on the show. Give them a winner.
No, well, let me say, nothing better than having Vogelbach on your team, and he hits a dong, and you get to watch his fat ass scuttle around the bases. Feels really
so
good.
So
good. Just trot around. Hey, I used to love it in Milwaukee. I loved him as a Brewer.
He did you see? He baseball players get to choose their own walk-up music. He chose a Milkshake as one of his.
He's just a funny dude, and he's really funny to watch.
Awesome stuff. My play of the day was going to have to come from the Phillies. Is going to be a lefty. I'll go with Bryson Stott hitting third today. He's got the speed as well. He's got, what does he have? 7 stolen bases on the year. I'd expect him to run on Justin Dunn if he gets a chance. He's kind of reformed his mechanics, where I think he's a way better hitter than he was earlier in the year, and the matchup really couldn't be any better for Bryson Stott. I think he's the overall, at least for my money, best play on the day. So Bryson Stott, the Mom's Basement play of the day.
Bryson Stott, Edmundo Sosa, and Daniel Vogelbach, the 3 plays of the day. It was a fun show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Hopefully you have a great Thursday night. Looking to see some RPS logos up top. core plays, playbook, cash chart, all of that stuff will be up as always. So again, NFL 15 is that promo code, gets you 15% off for life. That's going to do it though. We'll see you tomorrow on the premium show. Fridays are Friday night fireworks shows, premium 1.5 hours, talking some baseball. So make sure to head over NFL 15 at Run Pier Sports. Have a great night for Hoop, DC, Simon Behind the Sticks. I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.